Hey everybody, it's Kyle with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength, episode 263. Gonna be going over some mindset stuff today. I think it's relevant. I just started Mind Map Mastery for the third time, going through the updated course that Dax came out with. Something I'm very passionate about. We're gonna dive into that today. Before I do that, it's official. You can go to my website, kylenewell.com/manual, and get a free intermittent fasting manual. And I've got it updated, so there's about 5 mind map principles within that. I'll put that below. So today I had a mind map session. So that's something I do one-on-one with clients that hire me for that. And I was keeping it anonymous. The gentleman's going through a tough time. Got wronged at his job. But what we're working through is moving forward. In the conversation I had with him, I said, man, there's a lot of relevant points I could talk about here with you guys to potentially help you. So I've always said reframing is really the top skill that anybody can have. It's something that I believe should be taught in every school in America, but obviously it's not part of the curriculum. But reframing is being able to take this situation, and let's say you're looking at it from over here, and now you move around the corner, you look at it from over here, and all of a sudden you see the silver linings. It's a matter of perspective and questions and inner dialogue. So I'm going to kind of go over my notes that I came up with and see where that leads us. So you have to realize that at every single moment you are creating your life. You are going through the process of creation at every single moment. What you do tonight, what you do tomorrow, what you do the rest of the week, you are creating. Even though you think you're on autopilot, you are an artist. You are creating that. The creative process, which I've talked about many times, has 3 different parts. You have thoughts, words, and action. Okay? Thoughts, words, and action. Thoughts, right, is the emotion. And that ties in with words to your inner dialogue. And then you have action. Action is the output. And we're going to talk about how you can reverse that. I'll wrap that up, the show up with that. So the first thing you have to do is become aware. When you're going through a bad situation, because it's all perception, a situation that you perceive to be bad. Every situation has great things about it. But a situation that you perceive to be bad, you have to be aware of your thoughts. So let's say it's anger, and you keep getting stuck in this anger. Well, the anger is in the past, right? You're focused on something that has already happened. Whereas fear is more projecting to the future. But with the anger, you're focused on something that has already happened. You need to become aware of when you get into these loops. And you can get stuck in these vortexes of negative emotion, and it can be very hard to get out. It's like a whirlpool. Once you get going, it just snowballs. Now, you can flip that. Once you get going positively, yes, to change those thoughts takes a tremendous amount of focus and energy. But once you get momentum, just like a train or a rocket ship, it's smooth sailing. But it comes down to the thoughts that you are having within your head. So it's okay. And a gentleman asked me, is it okay that I'm angry? And I said, of course it's okay. You got to feel your emotions, right? This is not positive thinking, and everything's fine when meanwhile your house is burning down over here, proverbial house. So it's okay to feel that, and don't judge yourself. Become aware of those thoughts first, in that inner dialogue first. Once you become aware of that, now you have to have a cue, right? So those thoughts are a habit. So you have basically the trigger, the habit, the reward. Okay? Trigger, habit, reward. Trigger, habit, reward. So you have those 3 components. So when you have the trigger, right? Let's say anger is your main emotion. The habit has to be changed. Once you get triggered, it has to be going down that. It might be an affirmation. I'm the best at the world at what I do. Even if you don't believe it, right? That's the words, right? And we can use the creative process starting from any of those 3 points. But you have to have a go-to. Otherwise, you're just going to go on a loop. Your brain is wired for the negative. It's hardwired for the negative. So we've got to have a pattern interrupt or somewhere else to put our focus. So become aware. And realize that all strengths come from a weakness. The reason that I know a lot about the brain, I don't know everything, and that I'm so passionate about mind map is because I struggled with it for a long time. So what do you do? In my opinion, when you struggle with something, you learn about it. You learn how to conquer it. You learn everything you can about the topic. That's typically what I've done in my career, is selfishly, whatever I'm trying to implement in my life, I learn as much as I can and I start teaching it. Right? It's much easier to learn when it's self interest involved. So remember that too. But your strengths come from a weakness. So me learning about the mind came from a weakness. Me learning about harmony in my life came from a weakness, being out of harmony. With this particular situation, so let's say you've been wronged and you were wrongly let go from your job. That could become the greatest thing that ever happened to you. You don't hide from that fact. You lead with the truth. Always lead with the truth. There's a reason that they're saying the truth will set you free. You can never go wrong with the truth. And I told this gentleman, I have much more respect for potential employees, people I've interviewed in the past that come clean about their past, even though it might have been something that was not good. That's not for me to judge. But if I have to find out from somebody else and they hid it from me, it kind of sits in your subconscious. But when they get out in front of it and tell me, boom, that's character right there. That's not easy to do. So you turn your weakness into a strength. All growth comes from a deficit. So you got to remember that. Whatever is happening to you, the seed of strength and greatness can come from that particular thing. State changers. So when you do find yourself being put into a negative spiral of thought, a couple things you can do immediately. Go for a walk. Do some quick exercise, push-ups, burpees, squats, whatever. Exercise will change your state within a couple minutes. It's very quick. Second thing is you could be the bumblebee. What this means, and that's that tattoo, if you're watching online, that I have right there, the bumblebee. The bumblebee does not learn or does not know the tremendous effect that it has on the world through its pollination, right? Pollinating, taking a little bit from this flower, going over that flower, this plant, and spreading it. It really makes the world go round as far as the food supply and a lot of the ecosystem. My point with telling you that is when you have overwhelm and you have anxiety and you have anger, you're too focused on yourself. You're too focused on your problems. So put the attention elsewhere. Reach out to somebody, be the bumblebee to somebody else. Reach out to them and say, hey, how you doing? I was thinking of you. Man, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. Or, hey, I love you. Do that. Put the focus on somebody else. That works almost instantaneously. And the last quick state changer you can do is music. Music can make you feel good in an instant because there's something called Hebb's Law. Hebb's Law is what gets fired together, gets wired together. Your favorite song, and think of it whenever you listen to this, think of what's your favorite song when I say that statement, what it is. It brings back, even thinking about that song, a flood of emotion. That song became your favorite song, became wired together in your brain when something great was going on in your life. Could have been a period of time, could have been a specific event. But music can change your state very quickly as well. Now, I have to preface all this with when you're going through stuff, this is the importance of daily discipline with your mindset. You're going to go through rough times. They are coming. They are coming in your life. But if you're proactive and you're working on things like meditation and visualization and not just using them when it's convenient, which is never convenient, it's going to pay big dividends for you, right? So one of the things you can do, the way theater of the mind and visualization has been taught to me, is practice 5 minutes a day. Start with that. Close your eyes, you breathe, picture yourself going into the movie theater, on the screen, get into the screen, don't just be the third person point of view, get into your body, but remember an actual memory from your life, an actual experience that made you feel great, that brings back a flood of positive emotions, and run that through over and over in your head for a couple minutes. You can speed it up, slow it down, but keep adding emotion. Once you got that, the screen goes blank. Now on the screen, you're going to have pop up the scene from the future of your life, something that you are calling and willing into your life, and create as much detail around that as you possibly can. But if you do that consistently, or you could even start it after you find yourself in a bad situation, but that stuff is very powerful, right? Remember, your thoughts create things. Thoughts, words, action. Thoughts create things. So that's another thing you could do. Now, where is the truth in the hurt? This is another question you have to ask yourself. Just making a note here, something else I want to go over. Where is the truth in the hurt? So let's say you're let go from the team, let go from the job. Is there any grain of truth in what the person said? I'm not saying you gotta be best friends with that person. Is there any grain of truth in it? And if you can't come up with any grain of truth, then say, well, how can I get better nonetheless? How can I get better? How can I turn this into a strength? Maybe you're going to start studying more of a certain topic. Maybe you're going to become a better teammate. It doesn't matter. There's always ways to improve. So where is the truth in the hurt? Realize that forgiveness is a selfish thing in a good way. Forgiveness is not for the other person. When you fail to forgive somebody, I've read this quote, can't recall who said it. When you fail to forgive somebody, it's like you taking the poison pill and expecting something bad to happen to the person you refuse to forgive. Don't do that. Forgiveness, think of it like this. Reframe this word. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow. The forgiveness is about you. It's not about the other person. They're not going to know if you forgave them or not. But find true forgiveness in your heart. I'm not saying topical. I'm saying truly forgive. We had a situation a couple of years ago where a friend, an employee, was stealing from us right out the drawer. Literally right out the drawer. And I made my decision as soon as I heard about it that I forgave him. And I told him that as soon as we sat down. There was no ill will on my end. And you know what? We're friends. We're friends still. We still get together. And there's no reason to hold on to any negativity. It doesn't matter if the other person wants to be forgiven by you. You don't have to be liked by everybody. But forgiveness is about you letting go. Remember, picture a visualization I like to use that's real quick. Is picture yourself, you're pulling on a rope. It takes two to create that tension. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Just drop your end of the rope. There's no need to be any tension in your life. Couple more things here. Anger and fear, right? Anger is more based in the past. Fear is based in the future. But they're like boomerangs, right? That energy you're putting out is going to come back. Boom, it's going to hit you. And each time it hits you, it grows, right? So it's like a boomerang. You want to have something like a javelin where you throw it and it ain't coming back to you, right? So if it is anger or fear, do what you got to do to deal with it. Use some of this stuff. Journal about stuff. Write an FU letter to somebody and then burn the letter. Write a forgiveness letter to somebody. But get that energy out there. Don't let it come wrapping back and hitting you in the chest. Remember, reframing is about the questions you ask yourself. What's great about this problem? Where's the opportunity within this problem? When you can do that, and I've talked about this in other episodes, you can float above the rip current of negativity of life that is going to come in. I don't care who you are. It's going to come in. When it comes in, you can either get caught up and taken out to sea or just, boom, float above it. It's there. It's affecting you very minimally. And then you come back. So you got to remember that stuff. And remember that all your growth will come from a perceived negative deficit or situation. Let me repeat that. All your growth, all your forward progress will come from a negative situation or perceived negative situation or deficit. We as human beings are not motivated for growth when everything's roses. It's when your back's up against the wall and when you feel like you're being threatened somehow, and whether that's a skill set or a mindset, then you got to go to work. Then you got to improve that stuff, and then you get after it. That's the way it's done. Right? And anybody can become a master of their mind. I'm on the path to it. I'm not there yet. You could be on the path to it. You just got to really commit to training your mind, just like you're training your body. So that's what I got for you guys today. Remember, you can go to kylenewell.com/manual and get your free fasting manual that's updated with mind map principles. So pretty cool. And then you get on my email list and you'll be getting my private daily emails, not the Newell Strength ones, the private ones that are going to be coming out. And I'll be sure to keep you entertained and go into some more stuff that I normally don't put out, for one reason or another. But I'm not going to hold back as much with the Kyle Newell list. So that's what you got. Hit the like button, hit the share button, leave a comment if you so please, and subscribe on iTunes if you have not done so already. These shows come out on Tuesday on iTunes, and there you can find all 263 episodes that I've done. And you guys have a great day. And thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate that. And I'll be back later this week, guys. Peace.